Hey everyone, it's John here from Simplify NII. So with going through the Weld overlay software, some of the features that you can input like having preset encoded data, preset probe libraries, you can also have preset workpiece libraries as well. If you go into jobs with the same workpiece identification, but it might be on a different asset. So if the weld profile is the same, you can just have that preset in your library and recall it whenever required. So you can go in, change the material thickness, you can change the weld profile, the heat affected zone, the cap, the root, all that dimensional data. It can be customizable and saved for a unique weld profile, and then when you go into for your inspections, you can just recall it, set it up with your probe features, and go ahead and scan and see all that information on the same screen that you're getting your A-scan information from. So let's jump into that now. Thank you very much. We'll see you around. Okay, customers go to multiple inspections every day where it's required that there's inspections done on different weld thickness, plate material thicknesses, and different weld profiles, whether it's single bevel or double bevel. So you can actually have majority of your weld inspections preset here in the system for the weld overlay software to recall whenever you require. So there is a library based in here. So to access the library, we would go into the main menu, we would go into Manage, and then we go WP, which is Workpiece. In Workpiece, we can edit an existing workpiece, we can add a new workpiece, we can delete them or rename them. So for the sake of going through this video, we will create a new workpiece. It'll ask us the material dimensions, it'll ask us the type of material, and the presets are already in here. So if you're working, so there's 14 different types of materials. If you're working to mild steel, it'll preset the longitudinal velocity, but it also preset the transverse velocity for the material as well, which we can go later on and fix up and have more accurate. But here underneath the weld, now, if we refer to this, it wants to introduce us different weld profiles, whether it's single bevels, double bevels, Ys, Us, you name it. It's all in here. So a Y weld with a back plate as well. So there is a significant amount of pre-existing weld profiles set up in here, but what it will continue to ask is more information about the weld profile, the height, the root depth, the heat affected zone, and we can just customize all that down to a decimal place. And so the image on the screen is relative to the data that we're entering onto the left. For example, let's go to a standard weld. Okay, and then we will change the root width, cap height, the root height, the heat affected zone. So we can save that, we can finish it. We won't save this one, I'll go back to a new setup, but once we've got it in our library and it is there, we can then access this in our system. So our normal UT set will look like this. We'll be in our basic setup, and we can set up our single twin crystal probes, we can set up our workpiece in here. We can say, okay, our workpiece from a previous setup, it's an ultrasonic thickness plate, and it's 21 mil steel. So that's our reference there. It doesn't show it on the screen, but because we're using an angle probe, it's already setting the velocity. there, or we can do custom and then adjust just the velocities there. It's bringing up the pre-existing probe information and values and the delays, and it's entering in there, or we can access it individually. And then once we have the probe and the workpiece set up, we can turn on, navigate over to the Weld Sim menu, and it's got when Weld Sim is off, we can turn it on, and then it brings up this Weld simulation here. Now we've got the leg length set. We can set it to 3 or 4 skips. We can set it for 2. Now to make it simple, I'll just set it to 2. And the next question it wants to know is the distance of the probe from the front of the probe to the top of the cap. And once we've got our first signals there set up, we can take the measurement to the top of the cap, enter it into the device here, distance E, and then we can see how our legs interact with the cap and the root of the weld. So I will move the probe, I'll simulate that the probe is moving closer, and we can see what happens through that skip. Okay, so it also adjusts, so that information of the root that we inputted it earlier plays a critical role to the information coming on the signal. And then obviously we can interpret our A-scan data, and then it will show our our A-scan, how it's interacting with this root, and then the reflections from whatever is happening inside this weld as well. This will be updated, and it will show us where it's taking that echo from. Okay, that's it on how to navigate the menus and how to set up the weld profile information. Our next video in the link above should take you through a little bit more thoroughly with connected probes, so you can see how that's working. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you around.